friends? Welcome back to Above Par. I hope you're having a beautiful week, playing a little bit of golf. I appreciate you listening in. I appreciate you sharing this with your friends because I get lots of comments from people who are encouraging some of their friends to listen to the podcast. Anybody that you think that this is helpful for, just share away. Encourage them to listen, binge listen, share your favorite episodes. Any which way is good by me. I'm just here to help people think better, feel better, play better. And I'm all about sharing the love and anything that you find will be helpful, anything that works. Today, what I want to talk about is resilience. And resilience is one of those things that I think I've prided myself on being a relatively resilient person over the course of my life. And I want to talk about how it actually is a life skill, but its relevance to the game of golf. And maybe it's a different way of you looking at you managing your mind is really about pursuing resilience. So resilient by definition is the ability to understand or recover quickly from difficult conditions, right? Golf offers up plenty of difficult conditions. So it's our ability to recover quickly, which is what I talk about with mental management, is recovering quickly, allowing yourself 60 to 90 seconds to be upset about different conditions on the golf course. Google's also says that what is meant by a resilient person is resilience is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility. So resilience is the process. It's mental management of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, or in this case, I'm going to talk about golf experiences, which are part of life. So I would tell you that over the course of my life, I've been relatively resilient. I feel like I've bounced back a lot over a lot of the ups and downs that I've had throughout my life. I would not use the word for myself in the past as quickly. And I've talked about in this other episodes is where, I have sat in shame after a bad round for multiple days, acclimating my brain to feeling like shame takes X number of days to process. That's not quickly. What I've done and what I learned and what I do on a day-to-day basis on and off the golf course is I try to adapt quickly. I try to recover quickly. I like to think of myself as being mentally and emotionally flexible. I do that by managing my mind, my thoughts and emotions. Those are the things that I teach in Unleash Your Game. That's things I teach my clients in coaching that we talk about in Above Par that I talk about here. Is learning how to process emotions and learning how to manage your thoughts, on how to be deliberate and intentional. Ultimately, this could be called golf resilience instead of the mental game, right? It's a process. So how resilient are you on the golf course? How quickly do you recover from difficult conditions? And of course, we're not talking about you going out on the golf course and playing in the rain or the wind, not those kind of conditions. It's about really 5 different categories. The first category is how resilient are you after a shot? How quickly do you recover after a bad shot or a difficult result? Do you allow yourself 60 to 90 seconds to get through that disappointment or that frustration? Or are you not so resilient after a poor shot? Does it hang out and affect the next shot and the next shot? And the second area is resilient with people's words and actions. Honestly, I think this is the weakest component of most people on the golf course. They're so intolerant of words that people say and things that people do on the golf course that it affects negatively their mental state and their emotional state for an extended period of time. They do not recover quickly from these things. They linger in these people shouldn't be doing these things. And that just affects them more, their golf game, and how much pleasure and enjoyment they're having during the day. How resilient or how quickly do you recover from things that people say to you that you do not like, or things that people do that you do not like? Is this an area that you could work on? Could you build up your golf people resilience, right? Or do you let the words that people say and the actions that people do affect your next shot, affect your day, affect your performance and your mood and your energy throughout the day? The third area is after a bad hole. So you can play one hole and have a bad shot and be pretty resilient and recover. Or you could get up to the green, play a little bit of hockey, make a 6 or a 7, and now you have a bad hole. How resilient, how quickly do you recover after a bad hole? How many shots does that affect moving forward? Your tee shot, your approach shot, do you hang on to it for multiple holes? And the fourth area is after a bad round. You produce a poor number, you don't like it. How long do you stay in a mental and an emotionally negative place? How quickly do you recover? How quickly do you pivot? And remember, I'm not saying that you don't get upset. By definition, this is difficult or challenging life experiences. This is not about not having negative emotions or negative outcomes or negative feelings. This is how long or how do we react? How do we recover? How long does it take to recover? Because bad rounds are going to happen. Bad shots are going to happen. Bad holes are going to happen. People are going to say crappy things to you. People are going to do stupid things on the golf course. If you're not resilient, if you don't have mental management, they're going to affect your performance. And of course, the last area is after a bad tournament, a series of bad rounds together. Or you might have not finished as high as you would have liked. You might not have placed where you wanted to place. You might have missed a cut or not made the qualifier. How long do you sulk or feel bad? How much does it affect your off-course life? How much does it affect the language that you say to yourself? How quickly do you recover? That's golf resilience. That's managing your mind. That's managing your emotions. So as I said, I think we could take the term mental game, which I'm not a fan of because I do not think it's a game. We're not playing a game here. This is about your ability to manage your mind on and off the golf course. It just happens faster on the golf course. There's just different elements that come into play. There's things that we can do before a shot, after a shot, and then there's things that hang out with us all day that reveal some of the things that we struggle with off of the golf course. They just show up. How resilient are you? Using the word resilient and resilience, I think summarizes really what it's about managing your mind. It is about being resilient. It's about recovering quickly. It's about knowing there are going to be difficult and challenging experiences for us, and how long we let them affect our next shot, our next moment, our next minute, our next hour, our next day is mental and emotional and behavioral flexibility. So while we go through this list of after a shot, relative to people, after a bad hole, after a bad round, after a tournament you didn't like, which of those areas can you work on your resiliency? Which one can you work on recovering quicker? You might even take it to a bad shot. Could be a specific bad shot annoys you a little bit more than another one. I will tell you that hitting a bad shot out of a fairway bunker, I am less resilient than mishitting a shot on any other part of the golf course. That would be an area that I would work on, becoming quicker at recovering from that. So you might have shots that you're more resilient and other ones you're not. Just a different way of looking at the golf mind, mental golf, mental management. It's technically golf resiliency. How would you grade yourself? And if you feel like you're not very high in one area, what do you need to do to build that muscle, to build that skill, to work on the process of learning how to recover quickly? All right, my friends, are you resilient? Are you resilient off the golf course in different areas? What do you do there? How can you take that skill and change it and shift it to things that you do on the golf course? Right? Just a different way of looking at it. If I can help you with your resiliency, you want to learn more about Unleash Your Game or any of the programs, make sure you head to kathyhartwood.com. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you next Wednesday. All right, bye.